Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium on the campus of Roseburg High School. Tonight, the Roseburg Indians welcome in the South Eugene Axe, the undefeated team out of the Southwest Conference standings. South Eugene comes in at 6-0 in the conference, currently riding their streak to a possible Southwest Conference title. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, the Roseburg Indians still seeking that first Southwest Conference victory of the season and the first of the young career of head coach Jordan Humphreys. Tonight, the Roseburg Indians look to pull off a big upset as they welcome in the Axe for some high school basketball tonight here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Welcome in, everybody. Joey Keyran here with you again tonight. Happy to have you with us here on this Tuesday evening. Sure does feel odd to be with you on a Tuesday. It doesn't seem like we do that all that often anymore. The schedule working out to where Roseburg has had a number of weeks during the conference schedule where they've only played on Friday nights. But tonight a Tuesday night, and the gym is starting to fill up here at Stuart Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Tonight's matchup does feature first place and last place. But the last time these two teams met, the Roseburg Indians managed to keep things close throughout the first half and actually were within reaching distance going into the fourth quarter. But the Indians unable to stay in it in that one, falling 69-54 against the South Eugene Axe. That is a familiar story for this Roseburg team, as many times this season they've been able to put up a good half or a good couple of quarters against a team and then have seen their lead or their competitiveness fade throughout the contest. What's in store for us tonight? Well, we'll have to wait and find out, but we get ready for tip-off coming up right around the corner. Before we take our first break here in the pregame show, I want to let everybody know tonight's game is also streaming live online at 541radio.com. So if you'd like to watch tonight's game, it's free. Just head to 541radio.com, head to the Score homepage, and check out tonight's broadcast of Roseburg boys basketball. We'll go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys. It's our pregame coaches interview coming up next here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Hi, my name is Mark Martin. Thanks for watching Roseburg football on 541radio.com.
Back here in our pregame on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM, and streaming with video online at 541radio.com. Tonight, the Roseburg boys are back at home as tonight they get ready to take on the South Eugene Axe. And as we get ready for tonight's matchup here in the pregame, we get a chance to catch up with head coach Jordan Humphreys as we get ready for tonight's game. And coach, looking back, I always like to kind of start out looking back at the last game, a game against Sheldon, where once again it was the first half where you guys are able to look good, play solid, and then things kind of fall apart. And I know we've talked about it, hashed these kind of things out a little bit in the past, but when you look at a half like that, what are some of the biggest differences you see between your team and one half? In this game, it was the first half versus the second half. Other games we've seen where they've had a good second half and things didn't come together in the first half. But when you see kind of differences night and day like that, what's the biggest thing you see in your team when you see that on tape?
Definitely watching that again makes me realize and recognize the value of having some depth and having the ability to bring some guys off the floor and talk to them a little bit and get them to calm down. I mean, I used 3 timeouts in that third quarter, and it wasn't enough to calm our guys down. So having some depth to be able to put somebody else in and talk to a guy and see what we can do differently definitely makes a big difference in those situations.
So in that kind of a situation where you're having to do, it seems like then more coaching from the bench while the guys are still in the game, just because of the depth of your bench, you're not able to stick somebody else in there and then talk to a guy and do some coaching on the bench with them, kind of a situation.
Yeah, exactly. And just get them to calm down and see it from the bench, because seeing things from the bench can oftentimes say, oh, I see how there's a hole here or a gap here. How if I go this direction, I can create a gap and come back somewhere else. So just being able for them to take a deep breath, slow down, and not feel the pressure and in that.
When you get to these moments where you would like to get a guy maybe off the floor for a moment to give him a breather, give him a chance to calm down and maybe reevaluate where things are going with the game, when they're still out on the floor, what kind of things do you see? I mean, you mentioned maybe kind of slowing down or whatnot. Do you see as the game progresses, sometimes maybe it starts to move too fast in their heads and they try to do too much in those situations, and that's what starts leading to maybe a bit of a downfall?
Yeah, definitely they get ahead of themselves, and I mean, I think we saw some against Sheldon. A couple of guys started getting upset at each other on the floor, and so then they start getting on each other a little bit and getting upset at each other, and once you start doing that as a team, then you kind of start going downhill pretty quickly.
As you guys make it in here, obviously, it's everybody knows what the record is and all that kind of stuff, but you got 4 games left to go. A lot of games still left for these guys. Continue to show improvement. Get ready for what will be for many of them their senior years, going into the off season for their senior years. And as you look at these final 4 weeks here, how much are you as a coach still kind of maybe tinkering with lineups to try and figure out maybe pieces that work well together, continue to kind of figure out this team that you have that you're more than likely you'll see going into the offseason and into next year?
Well, definitely we've had some guys step up on the JV end and show that they're capable of playing and earn some more minutes on the varsity end. So we've kind of been moving those guys into some more roles on varsity so that they're starting to see that speed of game a little bit more to help get them ready for next year, so we have that depth that we were just talking about. And so trying to get those guys some minutes and get them comfortable with that speed, I think is going to be crucial these next 4 games, as well as every minute we can for these guys. They just need more time on the floor and get that experience and bigger, stronger, faster opponents.
Yeah, as the season's gone on, obviously you came in here first year, you were kind of implementing a lot of new things for some of these guys and giving them an opportunity to kind of get into it. As the season's progressed, have you tried to maybe step it back a bit, not implement as much as you maybe thought you would throughout the season, try to simplify it and make it a little bit easier on the guys to take away some of the mental aspect of it and just let them get out there and kind of get into a flow with it?
I wouldn't say we've stepped back as much. We definitely didn't get in as much as I would have hoped. But they're definitely still taking in new stuff. We put in new stuff for the second half of the league. Because if you're running the same stuff all the time, then teams are going to catch on, and then you got to switch it up. So we've definitely done some different things. But I feel like as far as them picking up on some of the stuff, that they've done a great job of that, and understanding what we're looking for on the offensive end and making the changes defensively.
Tonight's matchup against a South Eugene team that currently is leading the conference, undefeated in conference play. They look to be on their way to a playoff spot, if not a conference championship. What do you think about the team that you saw the first time around? A team you guys played very close for a first half of basketball and then let it get away from you guys late in that game. Going into tonight's matchup, what kind of things do you expect to see out of the South Eugene Axe?
Well, they definitely have 2 of the most athletic guys in the conference. That I think probably 2 of the highest leading scorers for us, and probably the third as well, in Paul, Harris, and Clark. And they're definitely not easy to shut down and contain. And I think we were fortunate that our defense was able to do that the last time we played, and just kind of fell short going into the end. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, I think it was 49-42 up there, and we had a 7-point game with them. And it just goes to show these guys, when we talk about it leading up to a game, that we're capable of playing with teams when we have that composure and we are able to focus for the whole game, and just continuing to work on cutting down small mistakes and worrying about every single possession and not looking too far ahead, and controlling what we can control, and and just competing, that we can compete with anybody in the league. And it's the same thing we've said for the last few weeks, and I think they still believe it. I think they still know that that's true, and we just have to find a way to put together a complete one.
All right. Look forward to it tonight as the Roseburg Indians continue to make their way through the stretch run of the conference slate. We've got South Eugene tonight, and we thank head coach Jordan Humphreys for his time here in the pregame show. When we come back, we'll get you ready for tip-off as we continue on with Roseburg basketball tonight here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother,
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors,
my family,
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Back here at Roseburg High School tonight, where the Indians welcome in the league-leading South Eugene Axe. Joey Kieran here with you as we get ready to go for tip-off. It's time now for our Supercuts starting lineups in the Steelhead Run Plaza across from Starbucks on Garden Valley Boulevard. Save time and check out Supercuts online at supercuts.com. Tonight for the visiting South Eugene Axe, head coach Dave Hancock has his team to a 17-4 record. They're 6-0 in conference play. His starting lineup will have senior 5'10" guard, a returning all-conference selection, Sam Harris, averaging 17.7 points a game and number 1 in scoring in the Southwest Conference. Another returning all-conference player, a senior at 6'8", forward Aiden Clark. Another senior at 6'2", a forward, Bryce Bencher, a returning honorable mention all-conference selection, averaging over 10 points a game. Jarrett Bryant, he's the lone junior in the starting lineup, listed at 6'4", a guard for the Axe. And then Josh Paul, the senior, returning all-conference selection, 6'4" guard, averaging 16.7. For the Roseburg Indians and head coach Jordan Humphreys, they're 3-16 on the year, 0-6 in conference play. It'll be Atreyu Pinard, the junior, 6'3", averaging 6.9 a game. Matt Parker, a 5'8" junior, averaging 10.8 a game, along with Jacob Parker, the 5'8" junior, averaging 5.8 a game. Also in the starting lineup, Carson Six at 5'10", a sophomore, averaging 5.7 a game. And rounding out the starting lineup is Zach Martin, the junior, 6'3", averaging 14.1 a game. And that is tonight's Supercuts starting lineups. Again, check out styles online at supercuts.com. Atreyu Pinard will tip against Aiden Clark, and it is won by Clark, as South Eugene will take it. Moving right to left on your radio dial, wearing their road purple uniforms, black numbers outlined in white. A corner three is good. It's Sam Harris that gets South Eugene on the board for a 3-0 lead here in the opening 20 seconds of tonight's ball game. Jacob Parker will bring the ball up the floor, dribbling to his left at the wing. He'll dribble back out, crossover to his left. Loss Harris gets it into the corner for Matt Parker, who answers with a three on the other side for the Roseburg Indians. And it's a quick 3-3 ball game here early on. Almost a minute ticked away, 40 seconds off the clock. Enter it into the middle with the basketball is Paul. He'll kick it out to Betcher on the left wing, driving into the corner for Bryant. The South Eugene team has a number of players averaging in double figures. They've got 3 scorers in the top 10 in the Southwest Conference. A kick out to Harris, who hits another three as he's feeling it early here tonight. Number 1 scorer in the Southwest Conference, again averaging 17.7 a game. He's got 6 early on 2 made threes. Jacob Parker out near midcourt getting trapped. He'll bounce it away to Matt Parker at the right wing. He pass into the corner. Zach Martin, a 3 is short. And the rebound down to Paul. He'll push it up the floor on an outlet pass to Harris. A fall-away jumper, kissing it high off the glass for 2. And Sam Harris has all 8 points here early on for South Eugene. And it's going to draw an early timeout from head coach Jordan Humphreys. 6:31 to go first quarter. It's 8-3. Sam Harris having a hot start for the South Eugene Axe. We'll take a 30-second break, come back here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. 6:28 to go here in the first quarter of tonight's ball game. Roseburg trailing 8-3 against South Eugene as Sam Harris has come out, and he is hot. 2 threes and a 2 for him. Driving on the right side of the lane, Zach Martin will kick out for Roseburg. Into the corner, it's Jacob Parker this time that answers with a 3, and Roseburg back within 2. Both teams with a couple of made threes so far. Harris tossing it to the near side to Paul. He'll take it. Driving in, finds the backdoor cutter on the weak side. Jarrett Bryant is wide open as Josh Paul draws the double team, and Bryant cutting it to the basket has the easy 2. 10-6, back to a 4-point lead for South Eugene. On the far side of the floor, Matt Parker tossing it out. It's taken away by Sam Harris. Paul going one-on-one, gets hit, and his lay-in will not go, but Josh Paul drawing a foul. I believe it'll be Jacob Parker picking up his first foul here tonight, and it'll send Josh Paul to the free throw line. Roseburg basketball here on The Score this season has been brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union, belong to Douglas County, and by DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone is welcome to shop. And Roseburg basketball presented by CHI Mercy Medical Center. Josh Paul missing the front end of his 2 free throws, hits the second. First point of the night for him, averaging 16.7 a game, second highest scoring average in the Southwest Conference. Roseburg facing pressure in the backcourt. Teams recognizing that has been an issue for the Indians. Up the floor, though, they'll break it. Almost traveled was Pinard. He'll make the extra pass to Six. He was short on the shot. Pinard fighting for the loose ball, and Roseburg will get a second possession. A deep 3 from the left side, and Matt Parker will make South Eugene pay as he drains one from well behind the arc. 11-9 your score, a 2-point game. Roseburg cutting it back down. 5:10 to go here in the first quarter. Aiden Clark, first touch, out between the circles, straight away. Will pass away. Right side, Bryant going to try and split the defense, and he'll draw a blocking foul A blocking foul will go against, I think, Jacob Parker going to pick up an early second foul. So 2 now on Jacob Parker in the first quarter. And it sends Jarrett Bryant to the free throw line. Bryant, again, the only junior in the starting 5 for South Eugene. At 6'4", it's going to be a big piece going forward for this South Eugene team going into next year. Roseburg basketball tonight brought to you by Good Vibration Solutions. For home theater and automotive audio, you can feel it at Good Vibes. Jacob Parker with his 2 fouls will check out of the game. Dylan Johnson comes in for some early minutes. Both free throws go through for Jarrett Bryant. 13-9, back to a 4-point lead for South Eugene. Roseburg will break the press, and they get it across the timeline, up the floor, into the corner to Zach Martin, and Martin will hit a 3. And the shots are dropping from long range for both teams. Roseburg now with 4 made threes, all of their points coming from behind the arc. On the right side, Betcher with it, drives to the right elbow, gets stopped, passes out to Paul. Drives baseline, got pushed a bit by 6, a kick out to the wing, and Jarrett Bryant will make him pay again. It's a 3. Bryant now with 7 points in the game, and it's back out to a 3-point lead. Zach Martin passes up a 3 from the left of the key. To the far corner, Johnson enters it into Pinard. He'll kick out to 6. Straight away, dribbles back to his right, to the left to the free throw line. Back out, Matt Parker, a 3 looks short. It is. Rebound down to South Eugene. Harris passes into the corner for Bryce Betcher, the senior. Across the floor to Josh Paul, lined up a 3, looked on target, but it was long, and Josh Paul off the mark with his first field goal attempt of the night. Second leading scorer in the conference so far, just 1 point. Hasn't really needed to score. Sam Harris, the leading scorer in the conference, has had a quick start. Dylan Johnson's going to try and split the defense, gets tied up. Sam Harris, for a moment, seemed to object against the foul call, but that one's going to go against him. First foul against Harris. First time these two teams met, Roseburg went with an aggressive defensive style against the bigs. Tonight they're going with their kind of usual lineup, and relying on the 3 is another one off the inbound pass to Matt Parker in the near corner. Parker has his third 3 of the game. He's got 9. A hot start hit for him. He is 3 of 4 from behind the arc, and an entry pass underneath gets kicked. It'll stay with South Eugene down to our left. Roseburg wearing their home whites tonight. Roseburg across the chest in black. Numbers in black on the front and the back of the jerseys. The orange trim down the side. Inbound pass goes to Bryant out at the top. Enters it right into Aiden Clark, and with his 6'8" frame, Aiden Clark just turns and gets it off the glass for 2. 3:18 to go here in the first quarter. 3-point game once again. And nearly turned over by Matt Parker. He gets away from Harris, but his shot blocked in the middle. Take away by South Eugene. Almost stolen by Johnson, but Betcher gets to it. And it's an over and back call. Betcher was on the ground trying to fight for the loose ball. Tried to pass it to a teammate who had not established himself in the half court before getting to the basketball. And it's an over and back turnover. So Roseburg turned it over. South Eugene gives it back. 3-point game. Roseburg's trailed by as many as 5. It was down to a 1-point game not that long ago. Carson 6 brings it across in a hurry across the timeline as Roseburg will set up the half-court offense. 6 with the left hand, passes it away. Alaric Call has come into the game. Checked in for Zach Martin. 6 loses it on the left side, diving to try and get it back, can't get there. Up with it is Paul. Into the corner to Bryant. Out at the right wing. Betcher with it, will pass it to the near side to Harris. 2:39 first quarter, 3-point game in favor of South Eugene. Harris, a couple of quick crossovers, drives baseline, almost lost it, lobs it into the middle of the floor. It's taken away by Roseburg. Up the floor goes Johnson, and he goes right in to the body of Aiden Clark. And Clark, at 6'8", has the easy advantage against 5'8" Dylan Johnson. But I like the tactic there. If you can go into the body, you might be able to draw the foul, but Clark swats it out of bounds. Roseburg will inbound out to the top. Oh, thought about the catch and shoot 3. Doesn't take it. Was Parker. Driving baseline goes Johnson. Nearly knocked over. And a travel call. Thought he kept his feet planted, but they saw some extra movement. 2:21 to play here in this first quarter. Carson Six comes out of the game. Daniil Olson will check in. Olson averaging 7.9 points a game, but coming off of a quiet 2 points in his last one. Pass into the corner. Open three for Bryant. No good. On the rebound attempt, a foul called. This is going to go against South Eugene, and they call it against Josh Paul. Paul will pick up his first. Second team foul against the Axe. Johnson slowly walks the ball across the midcourt stripe, working against Jarrett Paul. Around a screen, right side. Tries to get the edge. He lays it up, but it's just going to fall off the rim for Johnson, who continues to attack against the bigs from South Eugene. Paul could have been called for a carry. Goes right side. A fadeaway jumper is no good, and Pinard comes down with the rebound. Quiet night so far for Josh Paul. Up the floor, Matt Parker on the near side. Spins around, tries to drive right out to the top to Johnson. Far side to Olson. Had an open look at a three for a moment. Now his pass out to the top, taken away by Paul. And he lost a handle on it. He won't make the lay-in, and Roseburg will come away with the rebound. Got a hand on it late was Dylan Johnson, who is going to limp his way up the floor into the half court, and it looks like that may prompt a substitution for Roseburg. Johnson turns, goes right to the baseline, tries to muscle his way inside, has the ball taken away, and he will commit the foul. And Johnson is wincing a bit. He is in some pain. He shakes his head as he goes to the bench. Does not head to the trainer's table, so he may not be in that much pain. He continues to shake his head, not sure if he's shaking off assistance. They call the foul against Dylan Johnson. There was some confusion because he made his way to the bench pretty quickly after getting subbed out after committing the foul. Still a 3-point game, 18-15 with 1:06 to play here in the first quarter. South Eugene with the basketball. Out at the left wing, Josh Paul across the floor. Skip pass all the way to Sam Harris. Lob underneath to Clark, who's going to turn and try to attack. He got hammered. His shot does not fall, and they took a lot of contact going up with that basketball. Matt Parker picks up the dribble on the far side. Actually, he received the pass. Now he uses the dribble. We'll pass it away to Carson Six, who did come in for Dylan Johnson. Six had it poked away from him and off of his leg out of bounds by Josh Paul. The long arms from Paul, Bryant, from Aiden Clark. It's tough to deal with this long defensive team from South Eugene, but Roseburg right now keeping it close here in the first quarter, trailing by 3 with 37 seconds now to play. Harris brings it across after a quick start. He has been quiet here in the second half of the first quarter. Long pass to him on the near side. Thought about a deep three with the body fake. Does not take it. Enters it down to Paul, and Paul with great court vision finds Trey Nelson open on the backside. As the double team comes, he finds the open man, Nelson, who just entered the game with his first 2 points. 15 seconds to play first quarter. Olson into the corner, back out to Parker. Matt Parker will dribble it back out near the center circle. Pass right side to Pinard, pushed off his mark by Nelson. Gets it to Olson for a three. It's short. Rebound down to South Eugene. Call tries to steal it away, and as the ball gets poked away out of bounds, the clock will strike zeros. Roseburg trails 20-15 as we go to the second quarter. This is Roseburg basketball on the score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter. A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
We start the second quarter. The Roseburg Indians with the basketball, trailing 20-15. Joey Keyran here with you tonight from Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Roseburg and South Eugene scoring off. The Axe leading up by 5. Zach Martin back into the game, launches a 3 after coming off of a screen, but Alaric Call going to get called for an illegal screen, picking up his first foul of the night. It'll be the 4th against Roseburg as the Indians will turn it back over. Tonight's basketball game brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza. 7:38 to go. Josh Paul will get it from Bryce Betcher, gives it right back to him. Betcher goes airborne and tried to pass it over the top of the defense to Trey Nelson. The ball was tipped away out of bounds, and it goes tipped right to Bryce Betcher, who was standing out of bounds, and Roseburg will get it back. Leading scorers after 1, Sam Harris with 8 for South Eugene, Matt Parker with 9 for Roseburg. Parker will pass it to the left side to Danil Olson. Enter it down low to Alaric Call, who had the ball tipped away from behind by Josh Paul and out of bounds off of Call's leg. Harris, Betcher, Josh Paul, Trey Nelson, and Jarrett Bryant out there on the floor for South Eugene. Bryant gets it at the free throw line. Will back it out, lobs it to the near side to Harris, who's going to try the deep 3. It rims out. Fight for the rebound. It's Call that comes up with it. He gets it to Zach Martin, and Roseburg will come away with the basketball. First miss of the night for Sam Harris. Cut in through the lane. Jump stop. Matt Parker will get it to go. Off the glass for 2. Gets Roseburg back within 3, 20-17. They've trailed by only as many as 5. Jarrett Bryant got a lob pass underneath and somehow fought the basketball away from the Roseburg defense. Off for Roseburg to start the second quarter. 6, Matt Parker, Zach Martin, Alaric Call, and Danil Olson. A turnaround left-hand hook shot, no good for Josh Paul. And the Roseburg Indians come up with a stop. Up the floor, 6, jab step, drives left foot, out to the top to Matt Parker. He'll pass it away. 6:23 to go second quarter. 6 is going to try to drive again. Lobs it at the rim. No good. Fight for the rebound on the ground. He gets tangled up with Betcher. Jump ball. Possession arrow going to the Axe. Aggressive style of play there for Carson 6, fighting to get back to that basketball. And aggressive to try and attack through the middle of the lane. Stop and play for a moment, make sure everybody's okay, no blood, and I think wiping off. I think there may be a blood issue for Alaric Call, who will have to substitute out of the game. Atreyu Pinard comes back in. Tonight's game brought to you by Mahalo Heating and Cooling, your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Give them a call at 672-6707. Driving in, airborne, Jarrett Bryant gets it on the extra pass to Trey Nelson, who lays it off the glass and is fouled in the act of shooting, sending him to the free throw line for a 3-point opportunity. Nelson off the bench with 4 points right now and a chance to make it 5 and stretch the lead to its largest margin at 6. He will. That foul went against Zach Martin. 15 foul against Roseburg, 2 against South Eugene. Here in the second quarter, almost 2 minutes gone. Carson 6 will bring the ball up the court, across the midcourt stripe to the left side to Danil Olson. Into the corner. Tries to enter it in underneath, but it's taken away by Nelson, who just stepped right in front. Bounce pass to Harris on the left side. Keeps it away from 6 with the low between the leg dribble. Bounce pass at the top. Olson almost gets the steal. Betcher underneath to Nelson. Turn around. Hook shot. It's good with the right hand for Nelson. And Trey Nelson has come off the bench, providing 7 points for South Eugene. Olson gets it on the left side for Roseburg. They trail now by 8. Largest deficit of the game for Roseburg. And another pass nearly taken away. Stepping into the passing lane, Sam Harris got a hand on it, knocking it out of bounds. Danil Olson will come out of the game. Back in comes Alaric Call after getting checked for the blood. 6 inbounds into the backcourt to Call. Picks up his dribble and will pass it away. 5:15, second quarter action. To the near side for 6. Jabs with the left hand, drives back with the right, backs it out. Zach Martin will get it. Dribbles out to between the circles, had it tipped away from him. Tried to pass it away to Matt Parker. And Zach Martin will try to say that ball was tipped as he passed it away and went out off of South Eugene, but he will not get the favorable call. Carson 6 will check out as Jacob Parker with his 2 fouls will come back into the ballgame for the Indians. 25-17 your score. Here's second quarter action. Harris Gets it to Jarrett Bryant. Head fake, will drive, got bumped by Call. High off the glass, no good. Nelson down with the rebound, almost traveled as he shuffled his feet underneath. But with the reverse lay-in, he adds another 2. And that's going to prompt a timeout from head coach Jordan Humphreys. South Eugene, a quick run here in the second quarter, now leading by 10. 4:47 to go in the period. We'll take a break. Roseburg trailing 27-17 here on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. We come back here at Roseburg High School, 4:47 to go in the second quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. 27-17, it's a 7-0 run for South Eugene at the moment. 4:47 to go here in the quarter. Roseburg had it down to a 3-point game at 20-17, and since then it's been all South Eugene. Out to the left wing, Pinard, marked by Nelson, who has had a big impact off the bench for the Axe. Alaire Call will bounce it off to the near side to Jacob Parker, who dribbles into the corner. Crossover, goes baseline, got around on the defense, and a reverse lay-in for Jacob Parker. Will stop the run by South Eugene. 27-19, back to an 8-point game. Roseburg trying to get back in it. Ball goes right between the hands of Jarrett Bryant. Up the floor for Matt Parker. High off the glass, and it hangs on the rim and then gets the friendly roll back through the cylinder. And just like that, a 4-0 run for Roseburg has them back within 6. A pull-up jumper from Sam Harris, no good. Underneath, Trey Nelson clearing things out. He got the basketball, had it poked away by Roseburg. Two players leaning on top of each other for the Indians, but somehow they come away with the basketball. Jacob Parker out with it at the top. Another stop for the Indians, a chance to get it back to within 4 or 3 on a made 3. Zach Martin tried to enter it in underneath, and the ball will go out of bounds. Alaire Call had found himself a bit out of position. Call was trying to establish his position in the blocks on the left side, and he adjusted his spot from one side to the other. And that put him out of position as the pass went to the baseline. On the other side is South Eugene was trying to set up in the half court. Trey Nelson gets called for a foul. Away from the basketball. Nelson will pick up his first. It's the third team foul against the Axe. And Trey Nelson will head to the bench as Aiden Clark comes back in. Longtime head coach Dave Hancock, also the athletic director at South Eugene High School, spent some time talking with Nelson on the bench. Around a screen to the right side, Jacob Parker. He splits the defense, cradles the basketball, and lobs it up at the backboard with the kiss off the glass. The Parker brothers having a big second quarter. Has Roseburg back within 4, 27-23. It's a 6-0 run by the Indians. Pass tipped up in the air by Jacob Parker. Ball loose. Roseburg comes up with it. Matt Parker up the floor, gets the defender in the air. Now to Jacob Parker. He tried to make a pass to Pinard, and he almost turned it over as the ball goes off of Dylan Edwards, who has come into the game, and out of bounds as he almost had the steal, but couldn't hang on to the basketball. Roseburg ramping up the defensive effort has gotten him back into this game. Jacob Parker backing it out to the center circle, all the way out to the midcourt stripe, working against Edwards. Goes around a screen, now into the corner. Zach Martin, a 3. Got it! Second of the night for Zach Martin, and Roseburg's back within 1. It is a 9-0 run for the Indians. After trailing 27-17, the Indians back in it here in the second quarter. 2:28 to play. Driving in, the dump into the middle. That could have been a walk, but a foul going to be called, and the bucket for Aiden Clark. Looked like he was shuffling his feet in the middle as Roseburg was reaching for the basketball. Instead, the Indians will get called for a foul. It is the first on Atreyu Pinard, and it sends Clark to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Clark misses the free throw. Almost stripped away by Harris on the rebound. But Roseburg keeps it. 2:15 to go here in the second quarter. The Indians suddenly back in this game, down by 3. Tried to pass it into the corner and couldn't weave it through the defense. Up the floor comes Betcher. He's going to go right to the rim. Almost had his shot blocked by Pinard, but a whistle.
Roseburg foul number 0, Atreyu Pinard. His second. Bryce Betcher at the line.
So going to the line is going to be Bryce Betcher. Pinard picking up a quick second foul here in the first half. Tonight's game here on 541radio.com. You can watch the action streaming live for free. First free throw goes through for Betcher. That'll be his first points of the night. Roseburg basketball tonight is brought to you by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? They're holding up play here for a second. Carson Six is going to come into the game. Atreyu Pinard must have been sent to the bench with another blood issue. Second free throw does not go for Betcher, so he misses the second after making the first. 4-point game again for South Eugene, 30-26. To the right wing, Matt Parker out to Alaric Call. Jacob will come to get it at the top between the circles. Harris will close the gap defensively. Parker looking for help. Ball tipped out of his hands. Harris comes away with it. Harris up the floor on the right side. Pass into the middle. Floater goes right through for Dylan Edwards. Back to a 6-point lead. It's been as much as 10 for South Eugene after a 7-0 run for them. Then Roseburg responded with a 9-0 run to get back within 1. Pass tipped by Clark, trying to enter it down into the blocks to 6, and it's taken away. On the right side, and a travel called against Bryce Betcher.
Olson into the Indian lineup, replacing Larry Call.
Alaric Call will head to the bench as Danil Olson comes back in. 32-26, 1 minute to play here in the first half. Roseburg looking for a bucket here to end the half on a strong note. To the right side, or to the left side, driving to the baseline, underneath the hoop, kick back out. Matt Parker, his 4th 3 of the night. And Matt Parker, a big night tonight. He's got now 7 points in the quarter, 16 in the game, and that is a new season high for Matt Parker. And a whistle away from the basketball. And they call this one against Bryce Betcher. Roseburg back within 3 and a chance to tie it with 36.9 to go here in the first half. Full length of the court to go for the Indians. Jacob yelling out the offense as he gets into the half court. Goes the opposite direction of a screen, back out to Matt Parker. Matt Parker tried to pass to Danil, and the ball gets tipped to Jacob Parker. Roseburg will get a second life on the possession, and it's thrown away off the fingertips of Matt Parker as Roseburg turns it back over to South Eugene. And now the Axe will have a chance to try and extend a 3-point lead with 18.7 seconds to go here in this second quarter. Coming up, we'll have your more well-drilling halftime show, so stay with us for that. 32-29, Harris walks it across midcourt, down to 7 seconds, working against Jacob Parker. Step back, long 2 is short. Rebound out, 1 second on the clock. Josh Paul at the buzzer is off the mark. And at halftime, the Roseburg Indians battling back from a 10-point deficit to trail 32-29. And the Roseburg Indians giving themselves some life for the second half. We'll talk about the first half when we come back. Your more well-drilling halftime show when we return here on The Score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter. A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
We are back here at Roseburg High School, where tonight the Indians fight their way back from a double-digit double-digit deficit in the second quarter to get themselves back to within 3 here at the halftime break. Welcome in, everybody. It is your More Well Drilling halftime show. More Well Drilling, keeping Douglas County green since 1947. Give them a call at 541-459-4039. Coming up here at the break, we will take a look at your first half statistics, brought to you by Lamert Orthodontics. We'll also get a chance to check out some of the scores from around the region and of note in the Southwest Conference and beyond, as Josh Nelson keeping an eye on things for us here tonight. At the break again, 32-29 your score, as the Roseburg flag team, I believe, the dance team maybe, they come up with new names for these units all the time, but performance here at halftime from one of the Roseburg club teams here as they go out and perform for us here. Did a nice job doing that. Kind of quieted things down here at halftime, so I didn't want to get too loud and obtrusive there. At the break here, again, it's a 3-point game, 32-29. It was as much as a 10-point lead in that second quarter for South Eugene. It was a hot start for Sam Harris as he made his first 3 shots from the floor, helping get the South Eugene Axe out to a nice early advantage. But Roseburg had a couple of comebacks in them, and Matt Parker's really gotten out to a hot start in this ball game as he's made 4 3-pointers in this one so far. In fact, that first quarter, Roseburg living behind the arc, making all of their points from behind the 3-point line. That helped keep Roseburg in it. Trailed 20-15 at the end of the first period. In the second quarter, Roseburg outscoring South Eugene 14-12. That gets them back within 3. In that second quarter, South Eugene got out to a 10-point lead on a 7-0 run. Roseburg had cut the game down to a 3-point advantage, 20-17. South Eugene goes on a 7-0 run to stretch it to a 10-point game, but then Roseburg responding with a 9-0 run after a timeout where head coach Jordan Humphreys got a little animated. Got Roseburg out there to a 9-0 run, got it back to within a 1-point game at 27-26, but the Indians couldn't hold on to the run. South Eugene making a little bit of a push there at the end to get the edge back out to 3 points. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at individual statistics and get a look around some of the scores of note here tonight. It is the More Well Drilling halftime show. Roseburg basketball for you tonight here on 541radio.com and on the Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Hi, my name is Mark Martin. Thanks for watching Roseburg football on 541radio.com.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Back here at Roseburg High School, where the Indians trail 32-29. So we continue with your more well-drilling halftime show. I want to let you get caught up on our first half statistics. It's your Lamert Orthodontic Stat Update. Embrace Life. Call their Roseburg office at 673-0924. For the visiting South Eugene Axe, leading the way with 9 points is Trey Nelson off the bench. 8 points for Sam Harris. Behind them, 7 for Jarrett Bryant, all in the first quarter. 4 points for Aiden Clark, 2 for Dylan Edwards, and 1 point for Bryce Betcher and for Josh Paul. For the Roseburg Indians, game high 16 points for Matt Parker. He's got 4 made threes. Then 7 points for Jacob Parker, 6 for Zach Martin. And that is your scores from the first half for the Roseburg Indians. Josh Nelson has a look at some of the scores for us here from around the region and just other games going on here tonight as we finish out our final 60 seconds of the More Well Drilling halftime show.
Hey, thanks, Joey. So right now what I got for you is, as you were told earlier, Roseburg JV did beat the South Eugene Axe JV 56-38. Oregon was down in Phoenix, Arizona today for a baseball game against Grand Canyon. It went to extra innings, 12 innings exactly, but Oregon comes up on the losing end, losing 4-3. Oregon had 11 hits and 3 errors. That was the big difference in that ball game there. Oregon has started the season out 0-4 now. Going to girls basketball, South Medford was actually ahead of Grants Pass 19-0 after the first quarter. Back to you, Joey.
All right, thank you, Josh. A quick look at some of the scores that have come in so far. We'll be keeping an eye on it and hopefully have some more scores for you coming up here in the post-game show. That'll wrap up our More Well Drilling halftime show. Give them a call at 541-459-4039. Back with the second half after this 1-minute break here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
Roseburg will start with the basketball to begin the second half of tonight's ball game, and the Indians now moving right to left on your radio dial. Start with a 3-ball attempt from Matt Parker on the far side of the floor. Roseburg almost got the rebound, and maybe a push gotten away with there by by South Eugene. And a timeout here early on by head coach Dave Hancock and the South Eugene Axe. They're going to take a moment to talk about some things here. Coach Hancock not happy about things here to start out the second half. 32-29 your score here as we start the first 10 seconds of the second half of this ball game. And South Eugene a little heated up here early on. Roseburg basketball tonight is brought to you by Aviva Health, by Flyaway Travel, and by Umpqua Dairy, your local dairy since 1939. Starting the, still out there, I should say, I guess, for South Eugene after the quick timeout by the Axe. Josh Paul, Sam Harris, Aiden Clark, Bryce Betcher, and Jarrett Bryant, your original starting five. Carson 6, Atreyu Pinard. And they're going to call a foul against Harris in the backcourt after he passed the ball away, gets called for a pushing foul, and turns the ball back over to Roseburg. Some issues here to start out the second half for South Eugene. Roseburg will turn the ball over. Right idea on a play, but it didn't seem as if everybody was on the same idea for Roseburg. Zach Martin trying to find Carson 6 cutting towards the baseline from the out near midcourt on the sideline, and the ball just got away from 6 as he tried to get to it. Roseburg with 6, Pinard, both Parker brothers, and Martin, the original starting five on the floor for the Indians, as now Roseburg will get called for a foul, trying to double team against Sam Harris, knocking him to the ground on the inbound attempt. So that one goes against Carson 6. Both teams with a foul now here. Roseburg trying to up the defensive pressure to start the second quarter. And as I say that, they allow Sam Harris to go right to the rim. And with the finger roll, he puts one through. 34-29 at your score. 5-point advantage for South Eugene as they score first here in the second half. Jacob Parker to Pinard, out at the top to 6 on the left side of the key. Zach Martin will catch and shoot 3 from the right wing. Shot no good, gets his own rebound at the free throw line, gets hacked. That'll be the second foul of the second half. This one going against Josh Paul, his second. And both teams coming out either sloppy or overly aggressive. I'm not sure which one as of yet. Out to Matt Parker at the top on the inbound from the baseline. Pinard wants to work it in underneath, and an offensive foul called against Roseburg, and I believe they called this one against Carson 6. He picks up a second foul here in the third quarter. A lot of whistles here to start things out. 4 already, and we're not even a full minute ticked away in the third quarter. Aiden Clark will get it, nearly drug his back foot, stays planted, and he's got an easy 2 off the glass, and it's a 4-0 start for South Eugene to begin the second half. They lead 36-29. Around a screen to the right side for Jacob Parker. Pinard continues to apply a screen. Hasn't really gotten Jacob Parker free, and he tries to launch one off the glass, and the shot is too strong. South Eugene down with the rebound, quickly up the floor. Betcher driving, kicks out to the top to Clark, who finds Paul underneath, and he dribbles it out. He'll pull up for a long jumper. No good. Clark with the rebound, goes back up. His putback no good. He'll tip it out. It's taken down by Jacob Parker, and he will avoid traveling. He kicks it back out as they slow it down and wait for the rest of the team to show up. Driving right side around a screen. Parker loses the basketball. Bryant comes up with it. He'll feed it to Paul. Back to Bryant. Lays it in with the left hand. Good two-man weave there for Jarrett Bryant and Josh Paul. And 6:02 to go here in the third quarter. It's been all South Eugene so far, and that prompts head coach Jordan Humphreys to call a timeout here early on in the third quarter. He'll have 2 remaining the rest of this ball game. 5:58 to go. Let's take a quick break as well. 38-29, South Eugene in front of Roseburg here on the score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. well again. 5:58 remaining, third quarter. Roseburg basketball on the score and online at 541radio.com. Tonight's game brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg and by Kegel Communications. And don't forget Terra Firma Foundations, another proud sponsor of Roseburg basketball here on the score. Roseburg will start with the basketball. Out of the timeout by Coach Humphreys. 6, Jacob Parker, Matt Parker, Pinard, and Martin still on the floor for the Indians. They've given up a 6-0 run to start things off here in the third quarter. Roseburg trailing by 9. Their largest deficit has been 10. Matt Parker has it, driving right side against Betcher. Back out to Zach Martin. 6 will have it at the top. He looks to his left, back to the right side. Roseburg continues to run that looping motion offense into the corner. Zach Martin down into the middle to Pinard. He gets it back on a give and go with Carson 6, and it works. Pinard gets a clean look at a lay-in, who finishes with the right hand. Stops the run by South Eugene. Roseburg within 7, but quickly responding on the other side. Josh Paul finishes on the right side with the left hand, and that's his first field goal of the night. And he made it look easy attacking the rim using his height. Matt Parker enters it down to Zach Martin. Martin trying to pass it to Pinard, who got tangled up. Josh Paul wrapping him up and spinning him. And Pinard couldn't get to the basketball, but the whistle will stop the play. Foul goes against Josh Paul, his third. Aiden Clark will come out of the game. And Trey Nelson off the bench. (40-31) your score. 4:56. The inbound pass is taken right away by Betcher. Up the floor, Harris. The pass was too far in front. He had to chase it down, and he gets his shot blocked in the corner by 6. Up the floor quickly for Jacob Parker. Pass to the near side to Matt. To the near side again to Jacob at the left wing. Dribbles into the corner. Marked by Harris. He'll keep the dribble going out to the top to 6. Drives in, makes the pass to Martin. Turn around with the right hand, just a bit off, and falls off the back iron. Good look, right idea, just didn't fall. Driving baseline, Betcher gets to the rim and just rolls it over. Defense didn't see him get around his defender, and Roseburg had no help defense there to close off against Betcher. Driving through the middle, a scoop shot, a wild scoop shot there from 6. Doesn't go. Got the rebound was Pinard, and then he gets tied up by Jarrett Bryant. And the possession arrow goes to South Eugene. Coming in is Josh Wright for South Eugene. Alaric Call will check in for Roseburg. Carson 6 will exit the floor. Josh Paul takes the seat, as Wright will see the floor for the first time tonight. Sam Harris will bring it up. Roseburg applying some pressure in the backcourt. Lob across the floor to Bryce Betcher. And Betcher is taken down to the floor by Alaric Call. He'll pick up his second. Call trying to recover. Just kind of couldn't avoid the contact there with Betcher. I don't think it was intended to take him down quite as hard, although we do know that Call can be a physical player, but don't think that was the intent of what his actions were. He's an aggressive guy. He's got that football mentality about him. Inbound to the corner to Jarrett Bryant. Driving baseline, got behind the backboard, wrapped it around. His shot doesn't go, and Call will rip it or down off the rim after Trey Nelson tried to get a putback shot. Roseburg trailing by 11 at the moment, and that's their largest deficit of the night at 42-31. To the near side for Matt Parker, out to the top. Back to the left side for Matt. To Pinard, out at the left elbow. Finds a backdoor cutter, and Jacob Parker, he got it to Call. Call finds a cutting Atreyu Pinard, and Pinard gets hit as he was going up. And that sends the junior Pinard to the free throw line for his first free throws tonight. Tonight's game brought to you by Dr. Alanson Randall, by Roseburg Refrigeration, and by Barnes Heating and Cooling. 3:14 to go here in the third quarter. First free throw does not go for Pinard. Hey, folks, want to remind you coming up this weekend on Saturday, it is our annual radio auction starting at 9 o'clock. You can start bidding on items and get them for pennies on the dollar. It's radio auction coming up on Saturday. Starts at 9 a.m. on Best Country 103, 104.5 Sam FM, and on News Radio 1240 KQEN. 1-2 from the line for Pinard, and then on the full court press, Sam Harris finding Jarrett Bryant wide open down floor. He makes the pass, gets the assist as Bryant puts through another two. 44-32, a 12-point lead now for South Eugene. Zach Martin into the corner, wants to feed it underneath the call. He drives in, a turnaround, and he gets hit as he goes up. Scooping that one up off the glass. Call doesn't get it to go, but does head to the line. 5 fouls now against the Axe, and this foul goes against Josh Wright. So Roseburg getting the fouls here early against South Eugene. Could work themselves to some free throws late in this one. Larry Call will not cash in on the first of his. Also coming up on Saturday here on The Score, we've got a sports special as it is the first games of the season for the UCC baseball team, and it's their first games in 35 years. UCC baseball returns to the field for the first time since 1985, and they'll get a chance to play the first historic games on the newly renovated Champion Car Wash Field. Tune in for pregame at 12:30 here on The Score, and the first pitch of Game 1 at 1 o'clock this Saturday. Should be a fun day out at the ballpark. 1-2 from the line for Alaric Call. Up the floor, Roseburg committing a foul and one for Trey Nelson, who got free on the left side of the basket, makes another one, and sends the Axe back to the line where Trey Nelson is 1 for 1 tonight, already an and one earlier for him. Nelson now with 11, trying to make it 12 points in this ball game. And he will not. Rebound pulled down by Pinard. 46-33, South Eugene slowly stretching the lead out here in this third quarter. Roseburg's been held to all of 4 points. And their struggles after halftime continue. Danil Olson will catch and shoot in the corner. His shot off the mark. Rebound comes out to Pinard. Jump stop, got contact, and will finish. Pinard in the middle of the lane finishes. Outlet pass up the floor quickly for South Eugene. Trey Nelson cannot get the bucket to go. Alaric Call was carrying Jarrett Bryant on his back. Roseburg in transition, a three from Matt Parker. I've never seen that. Call showing off his strength, carrying a guy on his back for a few steps. On the other side, South Eugene had a man open underneath, cannot cash it in. It's back to an 8-point game, 46-38 after the quick run here by Roseburg. Sam Harris, a shot no good. Rebound down to Betcher. He tried to pass it back in over the defense as he was falling out of bounds, and he turns it over. And Roseburg getting a run going here, but coach wants him to slow it down, compose themselves, and not get too ahead of themselves. Matt Parker in the corner, underneath the call. Backing his way in against Wright. Back out to Matt Parker, a three. Looks short. High hop off the rim, and he gets the friendly roll here at home. Matt Parker adding to his season high. Has another three here in the third quarter. He's now made 6 in the game. 46-41, but again breaking the pressure. Trey Nelson on the other end scores an easy 2 for South Eugene. Back to a 7-point game. Roseburg with a quick run there, cutting down a 13-point deficit. Danil Olson dribbles to the corner. Back out to Pinard. Right wing. He's going to drive against Nelson. Gets into the lane. Wanted to dump it to Call. He should have just taken the shot. Turns it over. Up the floor. Nelson. He doesn't have the numbers. And it's an offensive foul on Betcher. Trying to get in there to box out. He knocked over, I believe, Pinard drawing that foul. And Betcher is going to pick up his second 6-team foul against South Eugene. And Betcher getting a quick explanation from the official. 41 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Roseburg, a chance to get it down to a 2-possession game. Jacob Parker around a screen goes left. Working against Harris goes right around a screen from Call. Call again sets the screen. Jacob Parker goes to the left elbow. Ball poked out from behind by Harris. And a fight for the basketball. Gets a whistle against Roseburg. And Matt Parker will pick up his first. 5-team fouls against the Indians now. 22 seconds to go here in the third period. 7-point game in favor of the Axe. Sam Harris will stand in the orange center circle, counting down the seconds of the quarter. Down to 10. Matt Parker working defensively. Harris with the crossover, goes left, turns around at the left elbow, pull up for a long two, off the rim, no good. Bryant down with the rebound, and it goes out of his hands, out of bounds, and that'll end the third quarter. After 3 periods, South Eugene stretches their lead, but Roseburg fights their way back. Still, they trail by 7. 41-48, South Eugene in front with the final 8 minutes coming up. Back after this here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for watching this local sporting event online at 541radio.com. Did you know there's more than one way to watch games online? You can watch games on your laptop or desktop computer, your tablet, or even your smartphone just by going to 541radio.com. But we also use YouTube to stream all of our video broadcasts, which means you could be watching this game on your big screen TV with a number of different streaming devices. You can stream our live YouTube broadcast through your PlayStation or Xbox gaming device, or through streaming devices like Google Chromecast, Apple TV, or Roku. There's plenty of ways to follow this live local sporting event. Plus, you can find past events archived on 1490 The Score's YouTube channel. Find us on YouTube and subscribe today to keep up with the latest in local sports coverage.
Hi, my name is Mark Martin. Thanks for watching Roseburg football on 541radio.com.
Final 8 minutes of tonight's contest. The Indians trail 48-41 against the South Eugene Axe. Joey Keyran here with you. Happy to be broadcasting on this Tuesday night. Starting with the basketball is Roseburg. Dalen Johnson into the game. Drove in, got a shot high off the glass, didn't fall. Pinard does a great job underneath the fight for the basketball, but he lost it out of bounds after trying to rip it away from the South Eugene defenders, and it goes out of bounds. Sam Harris, Bryce Betcher, Josh Paul, Aiden Clark, and Jarrett Bryant, the starting 5 on the floor for South Eugene. Paul's had a quiet night. Out to the top for Harris. He'll try to drive left, and he comes back out. Gets around the defender. Baseline jumper off the front iron, no good. Rebound down to Daniil Olson. Roseburg with Dylan Johnson out there running the point for Jacob Parker. They work it in underneath. Pinard got the defender on top of him. Bryce Betcher going to pick up another, his third. And Roseburg will get it underneath the basket. 7:14 to go in the ball game. Shooting foul here for Pinard, and he misses the first. Roseburg basketball on The Score is brought to you by Cascade Community Credit Union. Belong to Douglas County. By our friends at DC Farmers Co-op, where everyone's welcome to shop. And by Mercy Medical Center. Second one for Pinard does not go. Rebound tipped up and out of bounds off of South Eugene. 48-41, 7:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. Matt Parker will get it on the inbound from Olson into the corner, dumps it to Johnson, who will dribble it out. Comes out to the top between the circles. To the near side for Olson. He'll drive to the corner, goes baseline, kicks it out, far side three from Matt Parker, buries another one! Matt Parker now with 7 3-pointers in the ball game. He's got 25. An over-the-shoulder lob into the middle to Bryce Betcher, and his shot will not fall. Roseburg down with the rebound. They trail by 4, trying to make a push against South Eugene. A bucket doesn't fall, but drawing the foul is Olson. They call that one against Bryce Betcher. He picks up his 4th. 8th team foul against the Axe, and so Roseburg in the bonus. Daniil Olson will head to the free throw line. Tonight's game brought to you by Good Vibration Solutions for home theater and automotive audio. You can feel it at Good Vibes. Also brought to you by Abby's Legendary Pizza and by our friends at Mahalo Heating and Cooling. Your best choice for the finest indoor comfort control. Call them today at 672-6707. Second free throw for Olson is long. He hits 1 out of 2. And the rebound comes down to South Eugene. They lead by 3 after leading by as many as 13 in the third quarter. 48-45, a minute and a half away here in the fourth. Josh Paul, spin move. He's short with his shot. Rebound underneath by Alaric Call, but he forces the issue trying to pass it out, and now underneath. South Eugene gets it back, and Aiden Clark wanted to put down an statement-making dunk, and he gets hit as he goes up, and the ball does not fall, but to the line will go Aiden Clark. Clark, a quiet night tonight for him. He's got 6 in this one, and will get his second trip to the free throw line. First one is good. Sponsors of Roseburg basketball include Fisher's Hearth and Home, serving Douglas County for over 30 years with the largest selection of wood, gas, pellet, and electric stoves and fireplaces in the area. And by Chuck Swarman Family Auto Repair. Are you ready to go where life takes you? Clark hits 1 out of 2. 4-point game, 49-45. 6 minutes to play in this one. Olsen enters it down to Pinard. Double team comes. He wraps around the defense. Underneath, a shot by Johnson is sent into the stands. That has high fives on the bench for South Eugene. Celebrating the defensive stop. Inbound coming from the corner. Out to the top. The ball last touched out of bounds off of Sam Harris. He got a hand in front on the inbound pass. Roseburg was down by as many as 13 in the third quarter. They've gone on a run, and they are back within 4. Danil Olsen charging in, gets his shot blocked by Aiden Clark, and it gets blocked off of him and out of bounds on the baseline. Tough break there for Olsen going up against the big. Behind the back dribble for Sam Harris as he brings the ball across the timeline. He'll pass it to the far side to Bryan, into the corner to Paul. Bryan will get it back out the top. South Eugene looking as if they are willing to slow this one down a bit. Trying to drive right, and a whistle. Foul on the floor. Dylan Edwards drawing the foul. And they call this one against Dylan Johnson, his second. 7 fouls against Roseburg, so it'll be a 1-and-1 here for Dylan Edwards. And we're into the bonus for both teams going forward.
Dylan Edwards is line 1-1.
He will not get a second as he misses the front end of his 1-and-1. Dylan Johnson will work the ball up. Passing near side to Matt Parker. Into the corner. Pinard will come and get it at the left wing. Olsen going to try a deep straightaway 3. It's off the left iron, no good. Going down after the rebound attempt was Aiden Clark, but he'll work his way down the floor. Sam Harris enters it down to the left block to Josh Paul. From behind the basket, Paul will float it over the iron and drops it through. He's got 5 in the game. A quiet night for the second leading scorer in the Southwest Conference. It's back out to a 6-point lead for South Eugene, 51-45. Nearing the midway point. Pinard comes to get it to Johnson between the circles. Far side for Olsen as he cuts out to the wing, enters it down underneath. Ball got away from from Pinard, and reaching over the back was Jarrett Bryant to tie up the basketball, and a jump ball called to favor South Eugene, and that gets a few boo birds out here at home for the Roseburg Indians. Driving near side, across the timeline is Harris, into the middle, kicks into the corner, nearly throws it out of bounds on his tiptoes. Josh Paul saves it back in. Aiden Clark gets it, give and go with Bryant. Offensive is called here. Jarrett Bryant goes charging in. You had both officials blowing their whistle, and it's the one out at the top of the key that calls an offensive against Jarrett Bryant. I have that down as his first, and it is. So he turns it back over to Roseburg. Coach Dave Hancock still getting an explanation on the offensive foul called. Back into the game, Jacob Parker for Roseburg. He's got 9 in the contest. He'll pass it left side to Call with the dribble. Drives to the left corner. Between the legs, pass back out to the far side now to Jacob. He drives in, gets underneath, back out. Matt Parker, a 3. Got another one! 8 in the ball game for Matt Parker, and Roseburg's back within 3. Sam Harris brings it across the timeline at the free throw line, dumps it down to Clark, and just throws it away. Roseburg will get it back, a chance to tie on a 3 or get within 1. 4 minutes to go in this ball game. 4:01 to be exact, as head coach Jordan Humphreys calls timeout. Don't go anywhere, folks. Roseburg in this one with 4 minutes to play. 51-48 our score. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on The Score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. .401 to go in this ball game, and Roseburg finally getting a chance to put together 2 solid halves of basketball. They have got number 1 ranked, well, at least first place in the Southwest Conference, South Eugene, on a bit of the ropes. 51-48, Roseburg in this ball game with 4 minutes to play. The Indians will have the basketball out of the timeout. Jacob Parker driving left side, got a bit free, tries to go between 2 defenders, gets knocked to the ground, no whistle. The shot did not go. And now Roseburg's going to get it back on the other side. And that has the South Eugene fans unhappy. Okay, I don't like the idea of makeup calls. But that should have been a foul probably on one side, and I agree that probably should have been off of Roseburg on the other side. But they are going to confer, and they will say Roseburg basketball. From here, I can understand the complaints by the South Eugene fans, but I can understand the complaints by the Roseburg fans on the previous play on the other side when no foul was called. So Roseburg has the basketball. 3:36 to play. It's a 3-point game. Head fake, driving into the middle of the lane. Jacob Parker was short with a shot. Going up, Atreyu Pinard will get fouled, and he'll head to the free throw line to try and cut it down to a 1-point game. Jacob Parker, I think, found himself wide open. Did not expect to be that wide open in the middle of the lane, and that got him a little bit T-Rex armed. Throws up a short shot, but a Pinard there to get the offensive rebound and give Roseburg a chance at points, although he misses the front end. 1 of 5 from the line at the moment for Pinard. Roseburg basketball tonight is brought to you by Aviva Health. By our friends at Flyaway Travel. Call them for your travel plans at 672-5701. And by Umpqua Dairy, your local dairy since 1939. Second free throw coming. And Pinard will get it. So it's a 2-point game. 51-49. Roseburg within 2. South Eugene. And a foul called away from the basketball.
Roseburg foul number 5, Carson 6.
They call that one against Carson 6. So that'll be the 10th foul against Roseburg. Sam Harris drawing the foul will head to the free throw line for an automatic 2 free throws. Both teams in the bonus. Coming out of the game is Dylan Edwards. Back in is Bryce Betcher with his 4 fouls. 2-point margin here. Sam Harris will get another one. He was already going to get an automatic 2 as they're into the double bonus here. Harris first trip to the free throw line. A second free throw coming. Tonight's game brought to you by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages of Roseburg. 2 at the line for Sam Harris. He's got 12. Stretches it back to a 4-point game. Jacob Parker working against Josh Paul, who has a number of inches against him. To the far side, Jacob Parker into the corner. Fakes the handoff, gets an open look at a 3. It rims out. Bryant down with the rebound. Almost traveled. Roseburg's bench wanted one. They don't get it. South Eugene down with the rebound. They've got the ball in the half court. 2:50 to play. Jump pass from Betcher as he was in the air. Finds Bryant cutting to the basket, but he backs it back out. Betcher with the basketball. Will bounce it to the near side. Josh Paul into the corner to Sam Harris. He'll drive baseline against 6. Makes a no-look pass to Aiden Clark. He missed the dunk. His tip-in doesn't go. A third attempt finally falls through. 55-49, back to a 6-point lead in favor of South Eugene. Roseburg with one timeout left in this game, so coach is going to use it wisely. He still hangs on to it. Into the corner. Carson Six going to try a three, misses everything. And Pinard underneath had position but couldn't pull in the rebound. Carson Six has made a few threes this season, but he's not a high volume three-point shooter like the Parker brothers have been. Big night tonight from behind the arc by Matt Parker. Roseburg trying to trap in the backcourt. Bryce Betcher will get it across the timeline to Jarrett Bryant. Sam Harris will get it at the top. Into the corner for Josh Paul, left wide open, but he doesn't take the shot. 55-49, under 2 minutes to go here in this one. Betcher with it out at the top. Sam Harris working. South Eugene willing to wear down the clock here. Crossover by Harris. Goes back to his right. Passes it underneath, and it goes right to Atreyu Pinard. And Roseburg with the takeaway. Again, they trail by 6, and they need a bucket here. Down to 1:36 to go in the ball game. Jacob Parker passes it to the high elbow to Call. Back out to the top to Six. Matt Parker gets it. No, and it's an offensive foul against Roseburg, called against Alaric Call for setting the screen. And a timeout going to be called by South Eugene. They have plenty left. They'll take a full. 1:27 to go in the ball game. 55-49, a chance for South Eugene to start nailing this coffin. Roseburg down by 6 when we come back after this 30-second break here on The Score. 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Yes.
1:27 to go in this one. It'll be a South Eugene basketball out of the timeout. Tonight's game brought to you by Kegel Communications, by Terra Firma Foundations, by Dr. Alanson Randall, and by Roseburg Refrigeration. 6-point ball game. South Eugene basketball, full length of the floor to go. Pressure in the backcourt. Sam Harris had the ball tipped out of his hands and out of bounds. He wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Carson Six applying the pressure in the backcourt. Bryce Betcher will inbound it to Josh Paul. He'll turn and race it up across the midcourt stripe. Loses Pinard, makes the bounce to Aiden Clark with a two-hand flush. So that makes it an 8-point game. South Eugene starting to pull away. Call with it out at the top. Six now on the right wing. Marked by Betcher, gets around him, goes baseline. Turnaround jumper, it's short, off the backboard, tipped, and it goes to Bryce Betcher. Roseburg needs a stop quickly. If they foul, it will be an automatic 2 for South Eugene. And South Eugene is just playing keep away here. Bryant will pass it into the corner, back out to the top, and Clark will get fouled, and he's a pretty good foul shooter. And so it does put South Eugene into the double bonus. I misspoke earlier saying that they were already there. I read the wrong side of the scoreboard. But now both teams into the double bonus. South Eugene will have a chance to salt away this one. Clark will make the first. He's actually been about 50% from the line here tonight, but he's usually pretty steady there at the line. Tonight's game been brought to you also by Barnes Heating and Cooling. Well, he goes 50% from the line on that time, missing the second. 9-point game. Jacob Parker passing left side and a timeout. Jordan Humphreys is going to use his final timeout there. We're going to keep it right here with 27.8 seconds to go in this one. So tonight, not looking like it's going to go in Roseburg's favor, but give them credit after being down by as many as 10 in the second quarter. They fought their way back and were within 1 point late in that second quarter, went into the halftime down by 3. In the third quarter, they fell behind by 13, but then Roseburg fought their way back within 7. And here in this fourth quarter, they got it back to a 3-point game, but just have not had enough to answer against South Eugene here tonight. The undefeated Axe, they are 6-0 in conference play. Looking to try and go to 7-0. A win tonight for South Eugene will clinch a playoff berth as one of the top 3 teams in the Southwest Conference. Want to remind you, coming up this weekend, we will have UCC baseball. It's a sports special for you this weekend. We will bring you coverage of the first UCC baseball games in 35 years. Our pregame coverage will start at 12:30 from the new Bill Gray Legion Stadium at Champion Car Wash Field. We'll bring you coverage starting at 12:30 and the first pitch of the first game in 35 years for the UCC Riverhawks. It'll start at 1 o'clock as they host Olympic. It'll be a fun day at the ballpark with plenty of stuff to talk about. So join us for UCC baseball coming up this weekend. Roseburg inbounds. Danil Olson, head fake, got the defender in the air. He'll find a wide open Alaric Call, but he's too strong. He'll tip it out. 20 seconds to go. Olson with the basketball in the corner. He'll drive baseline again. Out to Matt Parker. Launches a 3. It's short. And Olson saves it back into Call, but time running out on Roseburg here. Driving through the lane, kick out into the corner. Danil Olson, a 3. It's off the mark, and Roseburg's going to fall here tonight. South Eugene stops the threat. The Roseburg Indians make a valiant effort of it here tonight, but they are unable to make the comeback, and the Roseburg Indians will drop this one 58-49, your final score. The South Eugene Axe prevail against Roseburg. South Eugene clinches a playoff berth tonight, and they go to 7-0 in conference. Roseburg falls to 0-7. Back with the post-game show after this on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brooke Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brooke Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brooke Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter. A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Welcome everybody into tonight's post-game show. The Roseburg Indians falling at home. Our final score 58-49 as the Roseburg Indians drop a close one against the South Eugene Axe. And Roseburg continues to prove that they've got what it takes to hang with many of these teams. It's just trying to put together a full 4 quarters against everybody has continued to be the problem for the Roseburg Indians here tonight. The Indians do a good job of limiting the damage from some of the top scorers in the Southwest Conference this evening, but others step up in their place for the South Eugene Axe as Roseburg unable to overcome the Southwest Conference leading team as South Eugene takes this one here tonight. Again, the final score 58-49. Roseburg trailed by double digits twice in this game, but twice got it down to a single-digit deficit at 1 point in the second quarter after trailing by 10, and down to a 3-point deficit after trailing by 13 in the third quarter. But Roseburg unable to ever take the lead in tonight's ball game as South Eugene holds on here tonight. We'll take a look at individual statistics from tonight's ball game. When we come back, it is the post-game show. We got plenty to discuss with you here coming up, so stay with us, folks. Roseburg basketball post-game show continues after a tough one tonight, 58-49 the final score. The Indians fall to 0-7 in conference play and drop their 8th consecutive game. Back with more of the post-game show after this on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
I am a nurse.
A firefighter. A college student.
A mother.
And I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
For every storm and disaster that threatens my community. I will always be there to protect my neighbors.
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
The pep band serenading us with the school fight song here as we wrap things up tonight from Roseburg High School, Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. It's time now here in the postgame show to take a look at our Lamert Orthodontics stat update. Embrace Life. Call their Roseburg office at 673-0924. Now, for the visiting South Eugene Axe, leading the way with 13 points tonight is Trey Nelson, scoring off the bench. Had a big second quarter with 7 points there. Behind him, 2 players with 12 points in the game. Sam Harris with 12, Aiden Clark with 12. And then 11 points for Jarrett Bryant. Then they hold second leading scorer in the Southwest Conference, Josh Paul, averaging 16.7 a game, and they hold him to just 5 points in this one. Roseburg holding the top 2 scorers in the Southwest Conference, who average a total of 33 points a game. They hold them to just 17 here tonight. So not too bad there, but others stepping up in their place. 3 points tonight for Bryce Betcher. 2 points for Dylan Edwards in the game, but did not score was Josh Wright. On the other side for the Roseburg Indians, it is a new career high for Matt Parker. He makes 8 3-pointers in this one. Matt Parker scoring a game-high 28 points for the Roseburg Indians. That is more than half of the points tonight for Roseburg. Behind him with 7 points was Jacob Parker. 6 points for Atreyu Pinard. 6 points for Zach Martin. And 1 point for Alaric Call and Danil Olson. Carson 6 and Dylan Johnson do not score in the game here tonight. So that is a look at the Lamert Orthodontics stat update for you here tonight. When we come back, Josh Nelson will try and bring you a couple of score updates from other games going on of note, and we'll wrap things up here on this Tuesday night. Final score again, Roseburg falls to South Eugene, 58-49. Back with the final segment of our postgame show after this here on The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Looking for more local sports coverage? CBS Sports Radio 1490 The Score has you covered. Check out our homepage at 541radio.com for sports stories, scores, and podcasts. And follow us on social media. 1490 The Score is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And take the station with you wherever you go with the 541 Radio app. Download the app in your smartphone's app store and get access to a live stream of the station, sports stories, podcasts, and easy messaging with the station and others.
At Brook Communications, our job is to get results for your business, period. We can take your story and tell it to the people you want to reach in a way that compels first-time clients to become repeat customers. We get them through your door so you can do what you were meant to do. Proclaim your sales message to the largest audience of any media company in Douglas County. Brook Communications dominates through the power of 5 radio stations and 541radio.com. Results amplified. Locally owned. Brook Communications.
Roseburg basketball tonight here on The Score. Wrapping things up for you as the Indians fall against South Eugene. A tough one tonight here. Final score 58-49. Again, if you are looking for a full recap of what happened tonight, you can always check out tomorrow's sports section of the News Review, the sports section there, following all of your local sports headlines. So make sure to check that out for great in-depth coverage on local sports throughout all of our local sports seasons. All right, Josh Nelson has been working hard, slaving over a keyboard to try and find scores for you around our local high school basketball scene and beyond. So we will give him the floor here. Josh, take it away.
All right. Hey, thanks, Joey. Yeah, I'm slaving away. We actually ended a little bit early tonight, so not a whole lot of scores to report. But in Southwest Conference play for girls basketball, South Medford beats the Grants Pass Cavemen 68-20. And then the Roseburg girls fall to South Eugene girls 58-30. And then, as I brought up earlier, Oregon was at Grand Canyon University today in Phoenix, Arizona, where they lost to Grand Canyon 4-3. Oregon had 3 runs on 11 hit and 3 errors. The errors are the big difference there because Grand Canyon only had 4 runs on 5 hits and 0 errors. It did go to extra innings. Oregon is now 0-4 on the season. Back to you, Joey.
All right. That is going to do it for us here as we wrap things up from Stuart W. Robertson Memorial Gymnasium. Unfortunately to say, only one more night here at Roseburg High School for us coming up on the schedule. Roseburg will finish out the regular season and presumably will finish out the season. I don't necessarily see the playoffs in our future, unfortunately. But no matter how strong Roseburg does finish here tonight, that is the unfortunate truth there, it looks like. But they will finish out with a chance to host a final home game of the year on the final date of the regular season. Welcome in North Medford coming up on February 28th. I would say it would be senior night, but Roseburg without a senior on the roster, so they won't have anybody to celebrate for senior night. They will celebrate just the end of the season and a chance to start continuing to get better going into the offseason. But coming up next, Roseburg will have a road game at South Medford coming up Friday night. They'll make the trek down there for a 6:45 tip-off. Of course, that means we'll have coverage for you from South Medford High School, bringing you coverage of Roseburg Indians basketball against the Panthers, so stay tuned for that. Our pregame coverage will start at 6:30. As we wrap it up here tonight, I want to say thanks to head coach and athletic director of the South Eugene Axe, Dave Hancock, for having the team here with us tonight. Always a pleasure to host South Eugene and his team. Dave Hancock, always professional. Appreciate working with him throughout the years. On the other side, thanks to athletic director Russ Bolin, head coach Jordan Humphreys, and the entire Roseburg basketball program for allowing us to bring you another season of Roseburg basketball here on The Score. Want to say thanks to Josh Nelson for help with the video production here tonight. Thanks to Heather Nelson for help work with the video camera tonight. Thanks to Cruz Ibanez back in the studio for the radio production tonight. And as always, a thanks to you, the fan, for tuning in for tonight's broadcast, because, of course, without you, I'm just a guy sitting here talking to myself. I am Joey Kieran, folks. We hope you guys will join us coming up on Friday night when we make the trip down to Medford as the Roseburg Indians take on the South Medford Panthers. We'll have the game for you with tip-off starting at 6:45 and pregame at 6:30. You can catch the action online at 541radio.com, where you can watch Roseburg basketball for free, or you can tune in and catch it right here on the good old-fashioned radio on Douglas County's home for sports. The Score, 92.3 FM and 1490 AM. All right, Cruz,